Natasha and thank you so much for joining me. Well, today I want to make some weird shaped cards because there are no rules. And truly, with any sorts of dies, you can make some funky shaped cards. Now, I have these ModaScrap dies here that I absolutely love. These are the framed rectangles. These were the original ones I got, and then I finally splashed out on getting some of the circular shape. Now, you can get the framed circles, which has the same pattern as before, but this is the bubble circles, which is ever so slightly different, more circles than little rectangles around the edges, if that makes sense. But anyhow, I am excited to use these, and today we're going to make some funky shaped cards. So this is how I store my dies when I get a new packet. I just cut off the top of the packaging, because I find the bit that is most likely to give way on me is that little adhesive strip down the bottom. Opening and closing that all the time just, invites rips and tears and all sorts of things. So I cut along the top. I don't love the idea of buying packaging to package things that already came packaged. It just feels like something else to purchase and something else to store. So I look after the packaging that it comes in, and it lasts pretty well actually. On to creating my card base. I have cut out a roughly 4x4 or 4.5x4.5 square card base, and I've got that folded line there on the side. So I want to make sure I get in as much of that spine of the card as I can, and then I'm just really making this. Now, don't worry about the corner here, because I'm actually not going to run that part through my machine, so it's not going to dent it or anything. I'm just going to run it, that top right hand corner, I'm going to sort of, angle that in first, and then the rollers will be able to catch all the way up to, about halfway along that die where I'm putting the mint tape, and then, it won't cut, it won't be anywhere near the other part, if you know what I mean. That's a little bit long-winded, but this is what we end up with. So who says that we can't just create these gorgeous random shaped cards? And I really like these. Now, if you're thinking, well, that's not going to fit in an envelope nicely, that I can solve as well, because I have a video. It's an old one now, but it's a goodie, and it's around creating envelopes with no measurements for any size cards. You don't have to measure and you don't have to be precise, and we make 3 different styles of gorgeous envelopes, so you can find one that you will like and be able to use that will fit this kind of card perfectly. Now, these are the stamps that I'm going to be using today. These are from AALL and Create. Now, I love the little fishies, and I have used those before, obviously, but this one here had been sitting in my stash, and I'm actually going to use the seaweed and the rocks out of this one. Obviously, I got these 2 to match. Now I can make a real scene if I wanted to, and I have been enjoying doing a little bit more of that, really, a little bit more inking up and a little bit more stamping, but this one is the simple version, because you know that I love simplicity, and I don't usually have time to sit down and do massive long makes. So quick, beautiful card making is basically where I'm at. I'm going to stamp out 2 each of the little fish, just because, if I make a mistake, I don't want to go back and start the stamping process again. So I usually do 2 of each. I store the leftovers in the back of my packaging, and that way it might even save me a step next time. You'll often see when I turn packaging over or turn dies over, there'll be spares in the back, and that just encourages me to use them. Sometimes that's the kind of place I'm in where all it can take, if it's not easy for me to grab, I'll avoid using it. And so putting extras in the back or having extras ready to grab is definitely a way that I can help myself use my supplies to their maximum. I'm using some Altenew. These are actually water-based markers, so they do blend together quite nicely, but they are bright and vibrant. These are the Altenew ones, and I purchased 3 sets a couple of years ago now, and they're doing absolutely fine. I like them, I use them a lot, and they're good. So I have got those for the gorgeous colourful fish, and I did pretty well. I didn't even need to use the spears, so I'll definitely be able to use those and pop them in the back of the packaging. I'm going to fussy cut out these gorgeous fish, because you know that when I am choosing stamp sets, I am thinking about how I'm going to fussy cut them. These, as I said, are from AALL and Create, and I actually have no idea if there is even dies available. I don't think there is. But in saying that, they do have lots of ephemera that are kind of pre-coloured, gorgeous, bright images like this. And so I suspect they also come with no white border, which is perfect for me. I suspect they may have some like that, but I don't think they have matching dies for their, at least these stamps for the minute. Then I'm going to take a black marker. This is, I'm not even going to pronounce the name, but I will link the pen down below. It is cheap and cheerful. Maybe it's a Zig brand, and it's $1.80 or something. Such a good price, and I've had it for so long. Such good quality. And I love that for going around my fussy cut items because it makes my fussy cutting look better and more polished. So then I'm going to take some, this happens to be the 4-inch wide mint tape, but just some low-tack tape, and then I'm just going to rip my own little sandy, rocky sort of base to the ocean, give or take, I guess, to the water. And so, I just rip along, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just going to adhere that down to the very bottom and then grab a couple of inks. Now, I was thinking sort of like a brownie ink, which I have the Warm Cocoa from Jenna K. I actually don't really have many sort of beige or brown inks. I have the Vintage Photo, the Scorched Timber, I think it is. That's a really dark brown. Yeah, not too many browns, but that's okay. We may do. And a nice light version, and then a little bit of yellow on top as well is going to make, the sand version down the bottom. And I just use a makeup sponge because I don't have a dauber or a blender that is dedicated to these colors that I don't use as often. And then, that looks pretty good, nice and quick. Then I'm going to add a little bit of blue for, this just happens to be an oxide ink. You can use, mix and match. I don't have full sets of anything. I don't have all the colors that have released. I wouldn't even say I've got half of the oxides. In fact, I don't even have near half. And so, same with the Jenna K. I don't even have near half of what there is available. But I make do with what I've got, and that means we can mix and match the dye inks and the hybrid inks and the pigment inks. We just use what we have. So I have these little rocks, which I'm going to stamp out in some, I think it's stone grey. It's just a darker grey ink. And then I'm going to fill these in with a little bit of light grey ink and pop a tiny wee bit of shading. These brushes here are absolutely fabulous for getting in those wee tiny places. Previously, or if you don't have these little brushes, you could just make a really, really quick mask and mask around the outside and then, add ink with a finger dauber or just a makeup sponge or something like that if you don't have a smaller one. As I said, everything is linked down below if you want to check it out, even if you want to see if you've got something similar. And of course, if you are already shopping and you're anticipating purchasing something already, using those links, of course, really does help me. It helps out creators a lot. But otherwise, have a look around your space because I bet you've got something that we can turn into the item that you need, I'm sure. So, right, I'm going to do a little bit of, I've just masked off that little bit of ground there, and then I'm going to use this one piece of, I'm calling it seaweed, and then I'm just going to pop it off in 3 different directions, bend that little photopolymer stamp so that I can, make it look like almost an entire plant, I guess, instead of just one seaweed. I could have just done different heights as well. That would work. Again, I'll take one of these fine little brushes and just color it in, add a little bit of green ink in there, and I just sort of test it on the side first because I don't want to come in with a whole heap of sort of dark green ink. I just want it to be a nice light little shade so that I don't lose the outside outline of that stamp. So very, very basic, but we've created that gorgeous little backdrop. Now, this one from those bubble birds, which I absolutely love. These are selling out really fast because Creative Expressions, unfortunately, which is Woodware, is closing down. And so all of those gorgeous, gorgeous birds I absolutely love. I love the sentiment that comes with this one that says, life is better with friends. And I do really agree. Sometimes a good catch up with a good friend is just magic. So I really, really love that. And sometimes even for a birthday card, like I would happily give this along with a little birthday gift or a little coffee voucher or something for a birthday gift. I think this is really nice because, it's just, the card kind of says it all. It doesn't have to say specifically happy birthday, or you could stamp that on the inside or write it on the inside as part of your message. So these for me are a really versatile sort of sentiment, and I absolutely love it. I added a little bit more dark blue around the edges and a little bit sort of more uneven blue, I guess, in the ocean, I guess we're creating. These could be freshwater fish as well. who am I to know? Now, inside one of these are the stamp sets. I think it's actually the one with the fish. Yes, it is. And it's got these gorgeous little bubbles as well. So I'm going to add in some of those just because I'm going to have these two little fish. And I kind of like the way that, one of them is sort of ogling their little eyes up at the other one. Just, with a bit of appreciation, because life is better with friends. And so again, use those little brushes to colour in those fine little bubbles, and then it's a matter of starting to put everything together. I do put a little bit of foam tape on the back of the fish. This is just the 1mm foam tape, and this one happens to be the 1/4 inch wide, I believe. You can also get the 1/2 inch and the full inch wide 1mm. So it's just a little bit of lift. It really isn't too much dimension at all, and it's perfect when you just want something but not too much. So how cute is that? And then finishing touches, of course, I can't help at the moment use the diamond stickles and just pop a little bit on some of their fins, I feel. And then I am going to switch over to the glossy accents, and I like to do the bubbles and sometimes even their eyeballs, just with the glossy accents. So no glitter in it. It just adds a sort of, clear, shiny, dimensional film over top of those little bubbles. And then, as I said, you could add in some little gems for the bubbles or some little Nuvo drops or something. You could also add some diamond stickles to the rocks or to the plants perhaps, but anyway, super simple and a really fun little funky shaped card. So I hope you have enjoyed this one today, something a little bit different and fun to try, I think. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here. I will have links to everything down below, and other than that, I will see you in the next video. Thanks, bye!